Hello and welcome to Maths Questions with Engineering Pro, where we do maths questions to help you become closer to becoming an engineer. So with this question, only 8.6 of students got full marks for this. So we're going to be tackling this. If you think you can do this, pause it and have a try. Otherwise, you can just watch me do it. So the question is, rearrange y equals p minus 2qx squared to make x the subject of the formula. Now, because we're making x the subject of the formula, we know that the answer is going to look like this. X is equal to something, okay? So this is obviously what we're trying to find, but it's going to be some sort of formula, some sort of expression. And we're going to have to try and make this look more like this. So essentially get x on its own on one side. So that's what I'm going to try and do. Now first I can see that this expression 2qx squared is on the same side as the expression of p, and I don't want that. I want the expression of x to be on itself. So I'm going to move this expression to this side because it's negative. I want it to be positive to make things easier. It's normally easier to make things, positive for the expression trying to make the subject. And then move everything else to the other side. So that would just be y to the other side. So that would be positive 2qx squared is equal to p minus y. Okay. So, that'll be p minus y. Okay. Now, again, we're trying to make it look like this, x on its own. So this expression here, we have 2qx squared. Immediately, I can divide both sides by 2q, and I can get x squared by its own. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So both sides divided by 2q, that would be x squared is equal to p minus y over 2q. Okay, almost there. So now we have x squared and we want to just have x. So how can we just have x on its own? Well, we have to reverse the x squared, so that would be square rooting. So take the square root of both sides, and then we have x is equal to the square root of p minus y over 2q. And that is the answer. So I guess the key part would be making sure you square root both sides to get rid of the x squared and turn it into x, and making sure you show all your work in. Okay, let's go to the next question. So, similar thing, we have a rearranging kind of question. So we have to make k the subject of the formula, and only 7% of students got full marks for this. Okay, so if you think you can do it, have a try, pause the video and then come back. Otherwise, just follow along. So again, we know that to make k the subject of the formula, the answer is going to look something like this. K is equal to something, some sort of formula. So that's what we're going to try and make it look like. So when you have questions like this and you see a fraction, it's normally easy to get rid of the fraction. Okay, so let's try and get rid of this fraction on this side, k over k minus 2, and times both sides. Times both sides by k minus 2. And then also, so both sides times both sides by k minus 2. So that would be t t k minus 2 is equal to just k, because they will cancel each other out. And even though we want k to be on one side, this step will help us just make the formula more, or it's more easier to manipulate. So we want k to be on its own, that's the aim. So let's try and expand this left hand side so that we can get a formula just for k, or an expression just for k, so that'll be tk minus 2t, that's equal to k. And now we want k, all the k's on one side and everything else on the other side, so we can have tk minus k. So take k away from both sides, that will give you 2t. And then we want k on its own. So you can see both expressions here have k in it. So we can factorise k out, and we're starting to get it to look like k is on its own, 2t, and then we can divide both sides by t minus 1. So k is equal to 2t over t minus 1. And that is the answer. So it's all about making it look more and more like k is equal to something, and also just having some practice so you can get used to some tips and tricks on how to solve questions like this. And that's the end of the video. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe and share this with other people who you might think will find this useful.